Hey folks, I've got to do some fluting on this oak board right here. I've got two oak boards. I need to put 5 flutes on each board. And I've decided to use 1/4 inch wide flutes. That's a bullnose bit. You can see the bit right here on this router. Right, it's just a round cove bit. And I had to decide how wide these boards may need to be slightly narrower. So I wanted it fairly narrow in here. So I just did a little test mock-up on this piece of paper right here. It wasn't perfect, but I do have a center line on this board. And so I'll put this on the center line and you can kind of see the darkened part of where those flutes will go. So they look good. There'll be about each flute is a 1/4 inch wide, so that's what I've shaded in as the 1/4 inch, and it's slightly less than a 1/4 inch between the flutes. That way it gives me a fairly narrow width of flutes so that I can rip the boards down on each side if I need to on this project. But anyway, so I think it's about a 30-second less than a 1/4 inch distance between the flutes right there. So that's what I did to set this up. Now I've got this little rocker fluting jig that I bought just for this project. And what it allows you to do is go ahead and set up the distances. So each one of these distances between these lines is 7 7/16, just a 16th shy. So of a 1/2 inch. So anyway, what that does is it's actually a little bit more than that. I think I've split the difference in the last 16th right there. So anyway, I've got them laid out right here. And the way you set this up is I've got this one set up on the 0 line right here. That 0 points to this line right here. Let me zoom in so you can see real quick. So if I do a 3x zoom, you can see the 0 line set up right here. And then I'll loosen these and I'll slide this down and you'll go to the 2nd line, the 3rd line, which is the middle line, by the way, 4th line, and then the 5th line, just like that. You get it all set up. And I've got this block of wood double taped down to this bench. And then I've got also 2 blocks of woods that are serving as stops so that it will come to a stop right there. And that'll be the end of the flute. And then it'll come to a stop on the other side right here, and that'll be the end of the flute there. So, and then this board is loose, but that's the actual board. I just have it set up as a spacer so that this won't tilt or anything like that. But when I drop this down, I need to make it sure that it's exactly, I don't want to go quite a 1/4 inch deep. I want to go probably a 30-second less than that. So I've taken a little setup gauge, 7/32 setup gauge right here, and that fits right in there. So I made this, I dropped this down so that this distance right here is the distance that it will cut down, and it's touching the board. So the bit is touching the board, and so now I can raise this up and then just start the cut and have it going. So I think, let me see if the yeah, that's pretty tight right there. So let me back up a little bit right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the fluting right now. And this is just a test board just to make sure it's gonna look good. So I'm gonna start, actually I'm gonna start somewhere in the middle here. So let me get this set up so that it's on the right position here. Okay, now tighten that down. And then I'm going to plunge into the middle of the board, and I'm going to start moving immediately because I want to move all the way to one side and then move all the way to the back side on this first cut. So this is a battery operated thing here, so I'll probably turn this down in the actual video, so I won't be talking during while I'm cutting. Okay, I made a mistake on my measurement here. I don't want to cut deep as 7/32 of an inch. I want to cut not a 1/4 inch deep, but a 1/2 of a 1/4 inch deep. So I really want to cut an 1/8 of an inch deep is what I want. So this board, the first flute is now ruined because I got too deep and it wouldn't even move because it was deeper than the width of the bit of the router. So I'm going to switch to a different measuring tool, 1/8 of an inch, and we'll see how that works. So I'm going to put my I should get my vacuum cleaner out, and I'm going to switch to the different the next line over. So right now I'm going to set the bit down to its depth on the board. I mean down to its just touching the board, and I'm going to change the width of this piece right here to be 1/8 of an inch deep. That's half the width of a 1/4 inch. So that should do that. Now I should be able to plunge in and start moving and get this thing going. So I'm on the second line now. The first line will be just kind of a waste. But again, this is a test board. I'm glad I did this test. So let me turn it on and get it going. It'll be loud again. Now, that bit works fine. And that cut works fine for today. Now I'm doing the center cut. I'm starting in the middle. I'm going to go down and begin moving as soon as I start touching so it doesn't burn. All right, one more cut. Okay, now let's see what it looks like. Using the sanding. I thought there's some sandpaper up here. finished product will require a little bit more sanding than that, but that's getting close. Now what I'm gonna do is get my chisel and lift this board up from this, this bench right here. I need to get in between the bench and that and pry up, get it off that tape. All right, there's I had tried 3 bits and that didn't look good. So I've got, 3 grooves, or flutes rather, and they were 1/2 inch wide. So these are now 1/4 inch wide, and I've got 5 of them on there. And I think that looks pretty good, except for this mistake right here. But the test piece was a good thing to do because it found that problem. And these are now 1/8 of an inch deep and look really good. All right, folks, that's how we're gonna do the fluting.